Have you ever stopped to reflect on what is really holding you back? Perhaps you feel like you're stuck in old habits, facing challenges that seem to repeat endlessly. It's frustrating, I know. But what if I told you that 2025 could be the year everything starts to change? Not because something magical will happen, but because you will be ready to make the changes that truly matter. The truth is that, in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we seek recognition and get distracted by the problems around us, forgetting to look within ourselves. And this is exactly where Stoicism comes in. This practical, ancient philosophy is not just a theoretical concept or inspiring quotes, but a guide for real life, to overcome challenges, make wise decisions, and live with purpose. But let me warn you, Stoicism doesn't offer easy shortcuts or quick fixes. It requires you to face your weaknesses, question your beliefs, and build a life that truly makes sense. In this video, I will share 7 Stoic lessons that could be the difference maker in avoiding regrets and transforming your life in the coming year. If you are willing to put them into practice, I promise that your perspective on the world and on yourself will never be the same again. Ready to take the first step? Then, let's go. Life is a journey of constant learning and transformation. We all want to achieve our dreams, live fully, and find satisfaction in our accomplishments. However, we often encounter barriers that seem invisible, obstacles that arise out of nowhere and keep us stagnant. Surprisingly, these impediments are not always external or uncontrollable factors. Often they are rooted in our own behaviors, the habits we cultivate. It's common to believe that our habits are harmless or just an extension of who we are. However, the reality is that many of them act like anchors, delaying our progress toward our goals and, in some cases, compromising our mental and emotional health. Identifying these harmful patterns is the first and essential step in regaining control and moving forward with determination toward success. Habits are nothing more than repeated behaviors that, over time, become automatic. The brain, in its quest for efficiency, turns routine actions into mental shortcuts, consolidating them into our subconscious. That's why breaking an old habit can be so challenging. However, the real problem arises when these shortcuts lead us down paths that don't serve our interests. A negative habit can manifest quietly, like hitting the snooze button every morning, or more obviously, like constant procrastination. Alone, these behaviors may seem harmless, but when combined over time, they create barriers that block our progress and prevent us from achieving what we truly want. Let's now explore some of the most common habits that may be limiting your growth, breaking them down into specific categories to make understanding and overcoming them easier. Health. An unbalanced diet, filled with ultra-processed foods, sugars, and saturated fats, can drain our energy, negatively impact our mood, and compromise our physical health. This further hinders our ability to face daily challenges. Similarly, a sedentary lifestyle not only contributes to weight gain and increased stress, but also reduces the efficiency of both our mind and body. Cultivating a healthy body is an essential pillar for maintaining a focused mind and a resilient spirit. Sleep deprivation is another critical factor, impairing our concentration, decision-making ability, and emotional balance. Proper rest is not just a detail but a vital necessity for achieving consistent, high-quality performance. Furthermore, excessive use of electronic devices and prolonged exposure to blue light can disrupt sleep, causing visual and mental fatigue. Recognizing and adjusting these habits is crucial for restoring balance and living in a healthier, more productive way. Thoughts. Negative thoughts, such as constant self-criticism, doubt, and a pessimistic view, undermine our confidence and prevent us from acting with determination. When we believe more in our limitations than in our potential, we close doors before even trying to open them. Another harmful habit is the constant comparison with others, which often leads to dissatisfaction and envy, diverting our focus from what really matters, our own progress and goals. The fear of failure is equally paralyzing, as it prevents us from taking the necessary risks for growth. Worse yet, it can lead us to create or seek out situations that reinforce negative beliefs about ourselves, perpetuating a cycle of self-limitation and stagnation. Identifying and transforming these thought patterns is essential to unlock our true potential and move forward with confidence toward our goals. Productivity. Putting off tasks until the last moment, or procrastinating, creates a cycle of stress, anxiety, and compromised work quality. In addition to harming performance, this practice negatively affects self-confidence, creating a feeling of incapacity. Another common and harmful habit is multitasking. Although it seems efficient, trying to do several things at once is actually a misconception. What really happens is a constant shift in focus, which reduces our concentration and effectiveness in each task. Lack of planning is also a major obstacle. Without clear organization, we end up wasting time and energy on activities that don't bring us closer to our goals. Finally, excessive perfectionism can be paralyzing. The fear of not meeting unrealistic standards often prevents us from starting, blocking our learning and impeding progress. Identifying and changing these behaviors is crucial for developing a more balanced and effective productivity. Personal connections. Avoiding arguments or not expressing what we feel and need for fear of causing misunderstandings can lead to accumulated grievances and limit the depth of our relationships. Emotional dependency, when we place our happiness and self-esteem in the hands of others' approval, makes us fragile and can hinder the development of an autonomous identity. On the other hand, social withdrawal, when we avoid contact and interaction with others, can lead to feelings of loneliness and harm both mental and emotional health. Recognizing the behaviors that hold us back is the first step. Then, it's essential to create strategies to replace them with actions that promote personal growth. This process requires patience, consistency, and kindness toward yourself. Here are some important guidelines. Analyze your daily routine and notice the patterns that bring discomfort or block your progress. Transforming these habits requires practice, but with dedication, it's possible to build healthier relationships and a more balanced life. Recognize your patterns and transform habits. Look at yourself honestly and identify the behaviors you want to change. Reflect on the reasons that drive you to keep them. Which emotion or need is being fulfilled by them? Understanding the origin of the habit is crucial for resolving it permanently. Set clear and achievable goals. Avoid trying to change everything at once. Choose 1 or 2 habits and create small, tangible goals. Celebrate every progress, no matter how small. Instead of simply eliminating a habit, replace it with something more positive and useful. For example, if you need to organize your time better, try creating a schedule with specific time slots for each activity. This type of change is easier to sustain. Stay focused and persistent. Changing patterns requires patience and dedication. There will be challenges and moments when you may relapse, but that's part of the process. Use these experiences as learning opportunities and keep moving forward. Seek support from those around you. Sharing your goals with friends or family can provide extra motivation and a sense of companionship on this journey. And remember, celebrate every achievement, no matter the size. Progress is what matters. Strengthen your positive habits and believe in your ability to transform. The secret to overcoming the patterns that limit you lies in self-awareness, the genuine desire to change, and consistency. Growth will not always be simple, but every step you take, every positive habit you incorporate into your routine, brings you closer to the life you desire. Remember, you have the power to shape your destiny, give meaning to your existence. In the hustle and bustle of the modern world, we are often swept away by a flood of worries, distractions, and fleeting goals, which often leaves us with the feeling that we're chasing the wind without finding true satisfaction. Amidst this rush, Stoicism emerges as a guiding light, offering a path to a life with more purpose. It teaches us that true wealth is not in material possessions or others' recognition, but in the quality of our actions, the firmness of our character, and inner peace. Philosophers such as Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius practice Stoicism not as an abstract set of ideas, but as a practical tool to face life's challenges with clarity and purpose. In 2025, this wisdom is even more relevant, challenging us to reevaluate our priorities, abandon what is superficial, and cultivate a life aligned with our deepest values. One of the core principles of Stoicism is to distinguish what is within our control from what is not. According to the Stoics, our happiness and tranquility do not depend on external factors, such as others' opinions, material possessions, or professional success, but on our attitude and choices. This perspective frees us from the anxiety of trying to control the uncontrollable, allowing us to focus on developing virtues like wisdom, justice, and balance. Today, more than ever, this approach is essential. Instead of allowing ourselves to be consumed by the relentless pursuit of trends, technologies, or validation on social media, Stoicism invites us to reflect. What truly matters? What actions can I take that are aligned with my values and promote my growth? Focusing on the essential requires discernment and the courage to evaluate our goals and aspirations from the perspective of what is truly meaningful. Do we need everything we desire? Or would it be more enriching to invest in deep relationships, improve our skills, or contribute to the collective well-being? Stoicism does not deny ambition or progress, but it invites us to channel our energies consciously and intentionally. It encourages us to abandon the quest for external approval, and in its place, cultivate self-love and acceptance of who we are. In the end, a life well lived is not defined by what we accumulate, but by the impact we make and the peace we find within ourselves. Instead of focusing on the accumulation of material goods, Stoicism inspires us to value what truly matters: wisdom, virtue, and compassion. In a world saturated with consumerist messages that encourage us to possess more and more, this philosophy offers a completely different perspective. For the Stoics, simplicity is not just an ideal, but an essential practice for a fulfilling life. True happiness is not in owning a lot, but in freeing ourselves from what is unnecessary. This idea is not limited to material goods. It also applies to our relationships, our time, and our minds. How many superficial or toxic friendships do we keep out of habit? How many unnecessary commitments fill our schedules, taking our focus away from what truly matters? And how many disordered thoughts and worries cloud our inner peace? Letting go of the superfluous is not a loss, but an act of liberation. It is an opportunity to reclaim our energy, attention, and time, and redirect them toward what truly elevates us as human beings. Instead of accumulating objects, we can seek enriching experiences, learning, personal growth, and genuine connections. Instead of allowing anxiety to dominate our thoughts, we can cultivate serenity and mental clarity. Stoicism teaches that every choice, no matter how simple it may seem, brings us closer to or further away from a meaningful life. True happiness, according to the Stoics, lies in the practice of virtue, acting with justice, wisdom, courage, and balance. As we approach 2025, this wisdom can guide us to live with more purpose. Before acting, ask yourself, does this decision reflect my values? Does it bring me closer to the best version of myself? Does it benefit others? Making conscious decisions requires resisting external influences and following our own internal compass, even if the path seems challenging or unpopular. Stoicism does not promise a life without obstacles, but rather an existence filled with meaning, purpose, and tranquility. It teaches us that we do not control the world around us, but we have complete control over our attitudes and actions. This is true strength, living aligned with our values, embracing gratitude and virtue every day. In 2025, let Stoic wisdom be your guide to creating a fuller life connected to your essence. Let go of excess, prioritize what truly matters, and give purpose to each choice. This way, you'll be better prepared to face future challenges with clarity, courage, and the satisfaction of living a life that's worth it. We live in a world of rapid change. Technology advances at a rapid pace, news updates every moment, and global events frequently remind us of the fragility of life and our circumstances. It is not uncommon to feel anxiety, overload, or frustration in the face of this apparent lack of control. However, there is an ancient philosophy that emerges as a beacon of calm amidst this chaos: Stoicism. The Stoics did not ignore the uncertainties of life. On the contrary, they accepted them as an essential part of the human experience. Their central teaching is the importance of distinguishing between what we can control and what is beyond our reach. so that we can focus our energy on what truly matters. This idea, known as the dichotomy of control, helps us analyze our worries and frustrations more clearly. In life, there are two types of circumstances: those that depend on us and those that do not. The first group includes our thoughts, emotions, choices, and actions, aspects that we have direct control over. We can decide how to react to a challenge, which thoughts to allow to stay in our minds, and what actions to take to move forward. The second group encompasses everything that escapes our control: the weather, world events, the opinions of others, and even the health of our loved ones. While we may influence some of these things, we can never fully determine them. According to the Stoics, most human suffering comes from our attempt to control the uncontrollable, fueling frustrations with the past, anxieties about the future, or concerns about what others think of us. Stoicism, however, does not suggest passivity or resignation. On the contrary, it encourages action and focus on what we can truly change. It invites us to prioritize virtue, wisdom, and serenity, beginning with the acceptance of emotions. Feeling sadness, anger, or fear is natural. Avoiding them is impossible. However, we can choose how to deal with these emotions. Instead of reacting impulsively, we can analyze them clearly and decide to act in a rational and conscious way. Stoicism also calls us to responsibility. We cannot control how others act, but we have full control over how we respond to those actions. Choosing integrity, compassion, and justice, even in the face of adversity, reflects the inner power we can cultivate. Moreover, living according to virtue is essential. For the Stoics, virtue is not theoretical but practical. It involves the courage to face difficulties, justice in our interactions, wisdom in our choices, and moderation in our desires. By accepting what we cannot change and focusing our efforts on what is within our reach, Stoicism offers a path to serenity in a world full of uncertainties. This philosophy is a powerful reminder that, even in turbulent times, we can find balance and purpose by living aligned with our deepest values. When we stop resisting reality and accept the present as it is, we let go of the frustration, anxiety, and stress that often overwhelm us. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up on ambitions or abandoning goals. On the contrary, it is a way to redirect our energy to what truly matters, focusing on areas where we can make a difference. By relinquishing the need to control everything, we learn to flow with events, value the present, and find inner peace sustained by our strength and virtue. Accepting what is beyond our control is an act of wisdom and courage, which frees us and reminds us of the unpredictable nature of life. In a world that constantly bombards us with pressures for control, perfection, and success, Stoicism offers a refuge. It invites us to look beyond appearances and understand that true happiness doesn't come from material possessions or external validation, but from cultivating virtue and accepting the present as it is. The end of a year is always an invitation to reflect. We review the past months and ask ourselves whether we used our time wisely, whether we achieved what we desired, and whether our actions reflected our values. Often, this retrospective brings up regrets and a sense that opportunities were wasted, that time simply slipped away. Stoic philosophy teaches us to avoid this feeling through conscious planning. The Stoics didn't let life happen by chance. They planned with intention, acted with purpose, and strived to make the most of each day, aware that time is finite and precious. For them, planning didn't mean creating inflexible routines, but rather setting clear priorities, aligning their actions with their values, and being ready to face whatever came their way. Living a meaningful life requires clarity of purpose. Before acting, it is essential to reflect on what truly matters and what principles guide our choices. For the Stoics, virtue was the foundation of a well-lived life, wisdom in our decisions, courage in the face of challenges, justice in relationships, and moderation in desires. When our actions align with these values, we ensure that we are living with integrity and purpose. Planning, however, is not just about setting goals. It is about acting with consistency and adapting to circumstances. The Stoics rejected grand fantasies and focused on practical, tangible steps. By breaking larger goals into smaller stages, we maintain steady progress without being overwhelmed by the magnitude of the challenges. At the same time, We need to be prepared to adjust our paths as life presents us with the unexpected, maintaining a flexible and resilient mindset. Reflecting on our actions is as important as planning and acting. Evaluating our progress, celebrating achievements, and learning from mistakes are part of the continuous cycle of growth. This practice keeps us connected to our values and helps us live consciously and intentionally. In the end, Stoic planning is not about absolute control, but about deliberate choices aligned with our principles. It allows us to make the most of each moment, avoid regrets, and live a fulfilling life full of purpose and meaning. At the end of each day, week, or month, it is essential to pause and reflect. Are we making progress toward our goals? Are we living in alignment with our values? What have we learned from moments of triumph and from the challenges we've faced? These reflections allow us to adjust the course of our lives, identify deviations, and have the courage and humility to correct them. Stoic philosophy teaches us that planning goes beyond achieving goals. It is a tool for building a meaningful and purposeful life. When we take control of our choices, act intentionally, and review our progress, we become the true architects of our destiny. This way of living, guided by reflection and conscious action, eliminates regrets and gives us a sense of fulfillment. At the end of 2025, instead of lamenting missed opportunities, we will have the chance to look back with satisfaction, knowing we lived each day to the fullest, made decisions aligned with our values, and used our time with intention. Stoic wisdom reminds us that time is our most precious resource, and it is up to us to live it fully, transforming every moment into something meaningful. Life, with its unique mix of joys and difficulties, constantly challenges us. Amid calm and storms, we find opportunities to grow and strengthen our character. Adversities are not mere obstacles. For the Stoics, they are crucial moments where our strength, patience, and resilience are tested and shaped. This philosophy invites us to view difficulties from a different perspective. They are not punishments, but forges where our virtues are solidified. Each challenge is an opportunity to demonstrate courage, balance, and wisdom. Instead of lamenting hard times, the Stoics encourage us to face them as valuable lessons, capable of transforming us into stronger and more aware versions of ourselves. Although we cannot control the events around us, we have total power over how we respond to them. When confronted with adversity, we can choose to be overwhelmed by distress or face it with determination and clarity. This is the heart of the Stoic approach: to accept the inevitable and respond with virtue. Accepting reality as it is, without resistance, is the first step in dealing with adversity. It is not about resignation or hopelessness, but about recognizing the inherent unpredictability of life with humility. By letting go of resistance to the inevitable, we free our minds to seek solutions and find the inner peace that comes from understanding. Stoicism teaches us that by embracing adversity as an essential part of the human journey, we turn each challenge into an opportunity for growth. In this way, we live with purpose, learn from difficulties, and emerge stronger and better prepared to face whatever life brings. Accepting circumstances we cannot change frees us to invest our energy in what is truly within our control. Instead of lamenting bad luck, the Stoics invite us to find meaning in difficulties. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I grow from it? What inner strength can I develop by facing it? Adversity can be a powerful teacher, revealing our weaknesses while helping us discover our true potential. Although it challenges our beliefs and values, it also provides the opportunity to strengthen us and lead us to a more genuine and authentic life. For the Stoics, adversity is the ultimate test of virtue. It is in the hardest moments that we can demonstrate courage, justice, wisdom, and moderation. Instead of succumbing to anger, fear, or despair, we are called to act in alignment with our deepest values. This means remaining calm in the midst of chaos, making rational decisions, and treating others with compassion and respect, even in the most challenging circumstances. Adopting a long-term perspective is essential in these moments. In the heat of adversity, it's easy to get lost in the emotions of the present. The Stoics remind us that difficulties are temporary, and that, no matter how dark they seem, they will pass. Keeping this perspective helps us avoid letting the temporary suffering define us, allowing us to face it with resilience. Life is a continuous cycle of highs and lows, and adversity is an inevitable part of this flow. True strength does not lie in avoiding challenges, but in overcoming them. It is in these moments that we show who we truly are and cultivate the resilience necessary to face any future. Instead of fearing difficulties, we can learn to see them as opportunities to grow, learn, and strengthen ourselves. We can choose not to be victims of circumstances, but architects of our own destiny. Suffering, then, ceases to be a burden and becomes a springboard for a fuller and more meaningful life. The Stoic perspective guides us to find resilience and wisdom in the midst of uncertainty. While we cannot control what happens around us, we have total power over how we choose to respond. By accepting adversity as a teacher, we discover the inner strength that has always been within us, making it possible to build a 2025 full of meaning, purpose, and inner peace. The tension between the present and the future is a constant in the human experience. Our ability to plan, set goals, and work to achieve them is one of the defining characteristics of our species. But when we neglect the present in favor of an uncertain future, we lose the ability to enjoy the moment, creating a sense of continuous dissatisfaction. The Stoic philosophy offers us a balanced solution. It is not about living in a hedonistic and carefree way, nor about sacrificing the present for tomorrow. It is about living each moment with full awareness, while making deliberate decisions that bring us closer to our goals and the life we wish to build. The Stoics, fully aware of the fleeting nature of time, saw the present as a unique and precious opportunity. Living in the present does not mean ignoring the future, but recognizing that it is shaped by the choices we make today. At the same time, appreciating the current moment allows us to find satisfaction in what we already have, avoiding the constant search for something more. Thus, it is possible to balance gratitude for the present with a commitment to building a better future. For the Stoics, each day is an opportunity to align our actions with our values, to act with purpose, and to live with integrity. They remind us that while the future is uncertain, the only thing truly within our reach is the present moment. By living it fully, we can transform even the smallest gestures into meaningful steps toward the life we desire. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that the balance between the present and the future is not only possible but essential for a full and meaningful life. By embracing the now while cultivating a long-term vision, we can find joy and purpose not only in the destination, but in each step of the journey. The past is just a memory, and the future remains uncertain. The only moment we truly possess is the now. For the Stoics, this perspective does not negate the importance of the future, but calls us to conscious action in the present. Embracing the now means dedicating our full attention to the tasks at hand, extracting the best from each opportunity, and appreciating the small beauties around us. Being present is an act of gratitude and connection with the world. It means fully experiencing emotions, joy, sadness, pain, or pleasure, without judging or trying to escape them. It is dedicating ourselves with attention to relationships, work, and even the simplest activities, without allowing regrets from the past or anxieties about the future to steal the current moment. While the Stoics greatly valued the present, they also recognized the need for planning to achieve a meaningful life. Living in the now does not mean abandoning direction, but building a future aligned with our values and aspirations. For them, each choice, no matter how small, should be guided by reason and the desire to shape a full life. Building the future requires conscious decisions in the present. This means reflecting on our values, identifying priorities, and acting in alignment with those reflections. The future is not something to be feared, but shaped with responsibility and purpose. Setting realistic goals, making a plan, and taking concrete steps are essential actions to shape that destiny. True wisdom, according to the Stoics, lies in the balance between living the present and planning for the future. It is not about choosing one over the other, but about integrating them harmoniously. Embracing each moment with full awareness, while making decisions that pave the way for our goals, is the foundation of a well-lived life. This harmony means acting with purpose now, understanding that the actions of the present lay the foundation for a meaningful future. It also involves maintaining a clear vision of what we want to achieve without allowing expectations to imprison us or pull us away from the richness of the present moment. As we approach 2025, Stoic wisdom reminds us of the importance of being the architects of our own destiny. Every decision, every action, every moment is an opportunity to live intentionally. We are called to build a future aligned with our values, without ever losing sight of the beauty and potential of the now. In practice, this philosophy manifests in mindfulness. Moment we truly possess is the now. It's not just about meditating or reflecting in silence, but about bringing awareness to every action. Washing dishes, participating in a meeting, or walking in the park. Everything becomes an opportunity to practice virtue, exercise reason, and act with purpose. Being completely present not only enhances our efficiency and learning, but also deepens our sense of satisfaction and connection with the world. At the same time, Stoicism invites us to be realistic about the future. It's essential to have goals and aspirations, but it's also important to accept that not everything is within our control. This balance between present and future allows us to live with intention and purpose. We embrace the moment without neglecting what lies ahead, building a life rooted in gratitude for the present and responsibility for the future. This is the foundation of a full existence, where each day is valued and tomorrow is shaped with wisdom and virtue. Uncertainty is a constant companion in life. The Stoics, rather than resisting it, teach us to welcome it with serenity and adaptability. This attitude is not resignation, but a way to live with flexibility in the face of change. By freeing ourselves from rigid expectations, we open ourselves to the present, seizing the opportunities it offers, even when circumstances are not as we planned. This balance between the present and the future is, for the Stoics, a personal responsibility. We cannot delegate the construction of our lives to others, or wait for the future to bring us happiness without effort. Every choice we make now shapes the future we will have. When we take responsibility for our thoughts and actions, we give shape to a destiny aligned with our values, building a fuller and more meaningful future. We live in a world that constantly distracts us with stimuli and a rampant consumer culture. In this context, Stoic philosophy, with its focus on simplicity and virtue, reminds us of what really matters. For the Stoics, happiness is not found in the accumulation of material possessions or the relentless pursuit of fleeting pleasures, but in the freedom that comes from letting go of the unnecessary. This freedom doesn't require us to renounce everything we have, but invites us to adopt a conscious attitude. Before desiring something, we should ask ourselves, does this truly add value to my life? Or is it simply a reflection of a need for external validation? Simplifying life is, therefore, an exercise in discernment, involving identifying what's essential and letting go of what no longer serves us. Simplicity is not limited to the material. It includes our relationships, our use of time, and our activities. It involves cultivating genuine connections, reducing unnecessary commitments, and investing energy in what truly enriches us. Moderation, in turn, is another cornerstone of happiness. It's not deprivation, but an act of wisdom, where we learn to appreciate things without being dominated by them. For the Stoics, true happiness is rooted in the practice of virtue. Acting with justice, courage, wisdom, and balance is what gives life meaning. This daily practice is not about perfection, but about living with intention and purpose, aligning our actions with our deepest values. As 2025 approaches, Stoic wisdom challenges us to simplify our lives, value what we already have, and redirect our energy to what truly matters. By practicing gratitude and cultivating virtue, we find satisfaction in the small things, a smile, a meaningful conversation, or the silence of a peaceful moment. Simplifying is an invitation to live with more awareness and less impulsiveness. It's a choice that allows us to free our minds from automatic patterns, focusing on decisions that reflect who we really are. In this way, we not only find greater satisfaction but become the protagonists of our own well-being. These Stoic lessons are more than just ideas. They are practical guides to transforming our lives. Now, the question is, which of these ideas resonated most deeply with you? Share your reflections and join us on this journey to a fuller, more meaningful and happier 2025. If you've made it this far, congratulations on your dedication and desire to grow. This is already proof of your intention to improve. If you liked the message, leave a comment. And if you're not sure what to say, write, "Welcome, 2025. So I know you watched until the end. Did you enjoy these reflections? Leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Let's walk this path of learning and growth together. Subscribe to the channel and continue exploring how Stoicism can transform your life.